Alright, welcome lady lads and gentle lads, my name is Smastian, and we're getting right back into the swing of things with some more Brigador action. I figured tonight we're gonna have a bit of a chill time. Do a freelance mission in our favorite party van, that is to say, the Killdozer, with a couple of bone saws and an audio-kinetic pulse, just so that we can complete the 10 million in property damage achievement. We're not going to be doing the full solo Nobre run. We are going to be doing instead solo Nobre proper with 18 districts. I think is a good way to go about it. Trying to get back into the swing of things with this whole streaming thing after the holidays. Because the holidays sort of really took it out of me, you know? Not only was there, well, the holidays to deal with, but also a bunch of inventory work to do. It was a bit of a stressful time. Either way, now that it's over, I should really get back into doing the whole streaming business, as I had intended to. As always, do let me know if, oh my gosh. Let me know if the volumes are misadjusted. If you cannot hear me very well, please say so in the comment section. And of course, I'm going to be doing my level best to do this as fast as possible. And I think the Killdozer is the best vehicle for it, because you get to move forward in a straight line, and you seem to be able to do a fair chunk of damage to buildings just by driving into them. A part of me also thinks that it's a good idea to alert the guards just so that I have the extra pylons to destroy, but at the same time, they only offer like 10 credits apiece, so I'm not terribly interested in doing that. After all, I only have 2 bone saws at my disposal. It's not exactly, you know, a critical mass setup for dealing with enemy hordes. The DPS is consistent. That much I do like, but it's not the greatest. Also, you might notice I'm ignoring some things and not others. The flashlights and telephone poles and all of that fancy sort of stuff. They don't actually give you any money. So I'm only destroying the things that give me money. Although I might forget from time to time and destroy more things than I should be. But there are plenty of things that are safe to ignore. Like signposts. And so today is more of like a hang out and chat with chat sort of day. As soon as more people start arriving, and or chatting. For now, however, I am content to just chat away to myself. Also, do get settled in, because we will be spending a fair chunk of time actually on these maps. After all, there is plenty to destroy. Ah, yes, that is already destroyed. Additionally, I don't necessarily have to destroy a building fully in order to get money for it. So long as it is damaged, such as this wall section, running into it once is enough to consider it damaged. Uh-oh. I also have to remind myself that damaged trees do not count towards our goal. But undamaged trees probably do. Depending on if they are a cluster or a single tree. So there is some room for error. And beyond that, we have enough districts with which we can deal, so that we don't have to worry terribly much about our objective. It will be finished in due course. Right. I accidentally had audio on that wasn't supposed to be turned on. But, oh well. It is what it is. I also have to remind myself that audiokinetic pulses shouldn't be used too close to the map's borders. Otherwise they will reflect back at me and do damage to myself. Might as well restock shields to full while I am here. Most of our property damage will be coming in the form of the main objectives, although a part of me also thinks that they don't count towards it. It's a bit strange. Okay. We do, of course, have to be careful, and also, hello there, Slay. We're having a pretty chill night tonight. Doing our level best to level terrain. Very good. Oh boy. Not exactly the way I had intended to take this area, but, you know, I'll accept it. This is adequate to my needs. Primary objective being the total destruction of map objects. So it's been a while, Slay. How are you doing? Life treating you well? It's always frightening using the audio kinetic pulse right beside the map boundary. I always have this weird feeling I'm going to start doing damage to myself. I have half a mind to put on another video game soundtrack than this one, just because of the fact that we're going to spend long enough on these maps that the audio, or at least the music, is just going to start cutting out after a certain point, because we've spent that long on it. So as I was mentioning earlier, Killdozer is the way to go, I think. Not terribly certain if there are better alternatives for map clearing in this game, but this thing seems to have the highest damage against buildings, so I went with it. Also, one of the great dangers of this vehicle, unfortunately, is that it does not have a particularly large natural shield pool. It does have a fairly reasonable health pool and damage absorption capacity. Thanks to just naturally being a very tanky vehicle. But because our natural shield reserves are so low, our ability to regenerate health is severely hampered. And we are always going to be plowing through our natural shield, or the additional shield reserve, because of the fact that we are aiming to do as much property damage as possible on a map before leaving. So, the amount of times we run into enemies is going to be much lower as a result. That said, because of the way in which we are interacting with the map and its obstacles, we are just going to be dealing with less enemies at a time anyway, and we are creating for ourselves a massive arena, effectively, in which to fight any comers. Adequate. But of course, the chief downside that we must contend with is the fact that our primary weapons are... well, our primary and secondary weapons are both bone saws. Not the best weapons to deal with most enemies in this game. That said, I suppose we are still, making sure that everyone on this planet is, compliant with OSHA regulations by dealing with all the stuff that is OSHA non-compliant, and there is a fat chunk of things on this planet that are OSHA non-compliant. It is distressing, truly. The sheer amount of OSHA non-compliance on display. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I wonder if chat is lagging behind. Nope. Just a quiet chat today. A quiet chat where all I do is talk at myself more so than chat. Acceptable, I suppose. Oh, hello. Remember, every single last spit of land on this map is potential money, so we sort of have to do everything in our power to clear it. Well, that did not go at all as planned. We lost way more health there than I really wanted to, but okay. I suppose it comes with the territory in a manner of speaking. Ah yes, good old property damage. One of the most tedious achievements in the game, in all honesty. There ought to be a way to do it quickly, but I'm not sure what that way is. Every last morsel of damage is valuable and important. Unfortunately. Okay. Alright. A little bit out of order. Not quite the way in which I had intended to do it, but we'll manage. I mean, we are also lower a bit on health than I'd like to be. How go the violations? Ah, well, most of them are being brought to order. Also, hello, Izzy. I'm doing my service to Tanku-chan, making sure that, in the RP on Friday, Tanku-chans are appeased and that we roll better than they do when it comes down to the fighting. So, it's going to be interesting. Not sure if that thing was actually worth money to destroy, but, you know, it pays to be safe. Unless you're playing Battletech with Izzy, at which point it never pays to be safe. Always just have a bad idea on the go. It's the best way to do things. Just dive headfirst right into it. Alright, had to mute for a moment there. But now that that disruption is out of the way, we can get back to, you know, solving OSHA violations. And the only way we know how. With Bulldozer. Tanku-chan Bulldozer. So the audio-kinetic pulse is basically like firing dubstep at people in order to, you know, deal with them. It's basically what it turns into. There we go. The base cannon has done its work, yet again. Oh yes, I remember this nice game, says Lolbit. Lol Tanku-chan dunking y'all right now. So good. Save will only get you so far. I will say gun fixes all. And you know, gun fixes a heck of a lot, really. Oh, hello. Well, this was more friends than I was expecting. But we'll do this piece by piece. Make sure we destroy the things in a relatively orderly fashion. And by that I mean solve the OSHA violations in a relatively orderly fashion. To make sure that the new community that will be built in this location is perfectly in line with our standards for health and safety in the new Solo Nobre. Honk honk, motherfucker. Ah, crap. I missed a little. But it's okay. It's okay because we made it out alive. Baby crying, hold up. Oh, never mind. You just give it a unload gun to play with. Unloaded gun to play with. Yeah, no. No, you do not give babies guns to play with. Bad lolbit. Even if they're unloaded. Mostly because you do not want to prime them for the idea that playing with any guns is a good idea. Because one day they'll get into their tiny heads that, since I was given this object to play with in the past, it must be a safe thing to play with and my parents allow it. Therefore I will find it on my own, and oops, it was loaded this one time, and no. You don't want that. So not even an unloaded gun. Not even. You don't do it. And besides, there's been plenty of incidents in the past where someone thought they were giving someone an unloaded gun to play with, and it ended poorly. So, no. It worked with you. I mean, there are exceptions to every rule, lolbit. It just so happens you're one of the exceptions. Also the chief reason why Canada cannot have good gun rights. Okay, how much more do we have to do here? Clearance-wise, that is. Not terribly much. If only the audio kinetic pulse had a faster reload, you know? Yay, I'm special, says Lolbit. Don't consider yourself so lucky just yet. And Canada is just a North American amusement park. You know, given how our tourism industry operates, that's not entirely wrong. I mean, it's not exactly a fair take, but there is an element of truth to it. Farron says greetings, and I say greetings back to Farron. How are you doing this fine evening? Why do you think most of them speak American? You know, actually, I'm going to go ahead and say no, most of them speak Canadian, because the Canadian version of English is actually a weird hybrid form of British and American. So, technically, it is its own unique beastie. For example, how do you spell certain words? Well, you can either use the British spelling or the American spelling. Except when you have to use the American spelling or the British spelling. So there is no, like, real consensus on how to speak the language. No. Bad. Bad dog. Bad dog. Down, boy. So since Canada is basically a North American amusement park, does that mean that Canadians go to that great amusement park in the sky? And if so, what would it be? I think it would have to be Crash Crawlies. For Canadians, there's a big Crash Crawlies in the sky. Which is basically Canadian Chuck E. Cheese's. Minus the animatronics. Okay, this map is finally almost cleared. So here's an interesting question for chat. What kind of shows have you guys been watching recently? If there have been any, indeed. The reason why I ask is so that I can sort of segue into talking about the one I've been watching instead of actually, you know, streaming content for you guys. Sounds greasy, but less creepy. Yeah. Crash Crawlies sort of does, but at the same time, I think the trade-off is that the ball pits have even more fecal matter in them. It's hard to tell. And I'm not about to do a quantifiable study on the amount of fecal matter in a Crash Crawly's ball pit. I'll leave that for some sort of sociologist, I guess. Someone with more time on their hands, certainly. Imagine making a name for yourself, like, for a graduate degree, by doing a quantitative study of fecal matter in ball pits in amusement parks. That'd be a really weird degree to get famous for. Or a study to get famous for as a scientist. Or even a sociologist, biologist, whatever. Now welcome to, this fellow, our resident poop expert. That'd be a pretty bad thing to get on a resume. War in the Pacific. How's War in the Pacific there a little bit? I'm looking for a specific word starting with N. Did I manage to bait it out successfully? You'd never be able to live down the name. No, you most definitely would not. And hey, look at that, the music's back. Also, the one weird thing about property damage in this game, tall grass counts towards property damage. So, like, see, this stuff, I'm running over it, and I'm getting 100, like, space bucks for every little bit of grass I destroy. Okay. Situation more or less solved. You know what? Let's just disengage from this area for now. I have better things to do. I have grass to mow. So we've gone from OSHA compliance to the landscaping business instead. Oh, good golly. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, at least we have a fairly appreciable amount of shields to work with. Whatever that's worth. I must destroy that train car. There we go. More money. Right, they may say nothing stops the mail, but I am the one who stops the mail. Okay, now back to chat. It's a nice show. Haha, excellent. We got it. We did it, chat. We made him say nice. So, yeah, I think that's enough battery charge to put this phone over here. It's a nice show. I'm on the part talking about the 10K plus Puerto Ricans who volunteered into the United States Army to fight the Japanese and how they were some of the US's most terrifying troops. Look, a lot of the units made up of minority groups in the US Army were pretty damn potent. And historically underappreciated. Speaking of underappreciated, these stupid guys in yellow raincoats, like, I don't appreciate the fact that, they exist, okay? There we go. So we've moved on from the landscaping business to, contact tracing for COVID. And, plenty of those guys over there were, forming up into groups of more than 10 people. So, I don't know, it was highly suspicious, and they most certainly were not close family members. That much you can tell at a glance. That was definitely a bunch of people who are not closely related gathering in groups. Okay, wow. That was bad aiming. Get back here. Thank you. I need your ammunition. Oh, great. That was a lot of health damage. Yeah. I don't know, chat, but I don't think I'm going to be successful in this run. We're probably going to have to attempt it a second time. Oh, Christ. Well, that was dealt with better than expected, to be quite honest. Oh my god. Okay. The Puerto Ricans would use street tactics on the Japanese, which would confuse and... speaking of confused and scared. Right, so street tactics, which would confuse and scare them, like how a Japanese charge could be met with a baseball bat, or how the Puerto Ricans would just do a drive-by on Japanese officers. Oh. Oh, those kind of street tactics. So basically, the Puerto Ricans were playing GTA San Andreas before it was cool to play GTA San Andreas. So aside from Lolbit, what has anyone else been watching? If there indeed is anything. You know, one of the weird implicit premises of this game is that since citizens count towards the property damage score, that means that effectively, the Solo Nobre concern, the people who are paying you to basically do all this wanton destruction, they're considering the population of the planet as their property. Or they're considering it to be property in an abstract sense. Really gets the old thinking muscles going, eh? Ah yes, there is a lot of work to do on this map. Got to the point where the Japanese would threaten them with death on capture, and they just responded with blasting the US national anthem on anything they could. Oh boy. I think the Americans made a very critical mistake when they didn't decide to make Puerto Rico a part of the Union. Because functionally speaking, Puerto Rico is basically the United States of America, but in the Caribbean. So, you gotta be thinking. Oh, shit. Well, I thought I was on a different map. Oh well. All's well that ends well, you know? Well, yes. To them, the people are moneymakers and as well as tools. Tools can be replaced. Yeah. One of the unfortunate side effects of being an empire. In all but name. Might as well deal with this wall section before continuing. Happen as a new state. Okay, actually. Oh well, that whole thing is up to my people and the government. If I'm correct, more than half would have want to join. And then you would need the Republicans and Democrats to agree on letting Puerto Rico. Whew. That's a fuel line. We don't want to run into that. I mean, we're basically already dead anyway. We just took a couple of poor engagements here. Happen as a new state is the same as adding a new province in Canada. I don't know how adding a new province in Canada works. I assume it's going to be in a very similar sort of way. Like, basically, all of the provinces in Canada would sort of have to agree, as well as all of the parties in the federal government would have to unanimously decide that, yes, we want to let X state or X province of X area into the Union. Or into the Confederation, actually. That was really weird situation. I didn't like it. We made it out of it alive. Somehow. But our mentality changes depending on which part of the island you ask. I mean, yeah. Like, definitely. I assume it's the richer parts of Puerto Rico that are basically like, oh yeah, no, totally, we want to be part of the United States, it's going to make trade so much easier. Whereas the poorer parts are probably more along the lines of, wait, why the hell would we want to do this? literally, what's the point? That was a bit excessive. And now we're back to the landscaping business. Okay, so what was this about the new show that I am watching? Well, the new show I'm watching is Deep Space Nine. And that is sort of what I've been binge watching instead of actually doing any live streaming. First season was a bit campy. A bit hammy, a bit overacting, but I mean, like, we're talking Star Trek here, so that's almost always going to be a given. Also, some of the plot lines in the episodes just end a bit too happily, if you catch my drift. And, yeah, I'm on the second season right now, about halfway through it or so. And it finally did pick up in terms of drama, which is nice. So it's a bit more of a worthwhile watch. It's also getting less episodic, and there is more through lines between episodes where, like, a plot line lasts 2 or 3 episodes at the very least. Oh, there is so much on these maps to get rid of. But it counts towards our total, so we do it. Because we must. Hello, Carol Wolfpup. Nice to see you joining us finally. We just had an interesting discussion about the Puerto Ricans fighting in the Pacific during the Second World War. Get back here. There you are. Phenomenal. How be y'all? Well, how do you respond to y'all in a way that is, like, wheel? Nah, it almost sounds as if it's correct, but not quite. Anyway, I'm doing pretty alright. Finally getting back into this whole streaming shenanigans thing. We're doing our level best to destroy property. You know, we gotta do $10 million worth of property damage. Make it happen. It's a bit of a slow journey because we have to clear all of these maps. Because there's money to be made at every step. I almost feel like a Ferengi. There we are. Some people call them civilians. Here in Brigador, we call them overtime. We call them the Christmas bonus. Ah yes, rule of acquisition number 203. It is always good to get paid to do what you were going to do anyway. A very, very good rule of acquisition. Now, I believe, unless I have missed something... Ah yes, I have missed these crates. And these blokes. But unless I have missed something over down this way that isn't a dude in a yellow raincoat. I mean, look, we'll pick up a free $50 wherever we go. But I think, we successfully cleared out the map. Alright, now we move on to the next. Not quite the tempo I was going for, but, you know, we're off to an interesting start. We still have yet to take any more health damage. Uh-oh. We really do need all of the health we can get. And here's a health bank. There we go. That's sort of what I needed. Ah, hello everybody. Again, not quite the tempo I was going for, but we'll accept it. Because we are still alive. Uh-oh. Cool. Right. So we're still alive. That wasn't exactly done to spec. Okay. Well, now that the gates are up, we do get extra money for destroying them. Only 10, though. Only 10 extra monies. But it's still money. Now, where was I? Okay. So, let's catch up with chat. Doggos are love, doggos are life. How old? They are lab lol bit. Huh? 6 like the German Shepherd. And then there's the Beagle and the Great Dane who are in their older years, so still goofy and energetic, huh? Yup. Oh ho, so you get your own wolf pack, huh? And a Great Dane. Big doggo. Yep, it just happened as events went down. What sort of temperament does the Great Dane have? Easygoing, calm. Yep, big, chill girl. I like doggos. Much better than cats. Controversial opinion that everyone loves to fight about, but cats, supremely inferior to dogs. If dogs behaved more like cats, they would be better animals. Or, no, the other way around. If cats behaved more like dogs, they would be better animals. I nearly spouted heresy. It's okay, guys, I just misspoke. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. I mean, that is most of the enemy defending force. I think we're more or less in the home stretch as regards danger. Although our health pool is now lower than it's ever been before. Okay. Okay. Cats are weird. Also, summer shedding must be a blizzard at Lolbit's place. Yeah, I'd imagine it would be. Used to have a pair of Siamese cats as a kid. Bea and Samia were their names. Or B and Sammy? I don't know how you'd be pronouncing those. I've heard people pronounce various things in various ways that are non-standard. Or that are standard. I'm just the one that's non-standard in terms of my pronunciation of them. The German Shepherd tries to eat the cat. Smacked him yesterday. As well, the German Shepherd should. Yes, commit all the war crimes, says Mori, and I intend to. Also, hello, Mori. How's your, how's things been? How are things going with that Polish girl of yours? If they're still going with her, that is. B was a huntress princess who apparently used to meow at my mum and chat like they were old friends during breakfast. Samia was a cross-eyed goof who purred like an old lawnmower. They sound noisy. Yeah, that's enough of that. Let's continue back along this stretch so that we do not neglect it. Ah, so Mori, now that you're here, here's a question for you. What kind of shows have you been watching recently? We've just shared that we've been watching, in my case, Deep Space Nine, and in Lolbits, The War in the Pacific, respectively. Also, Lolbit has a horrible question. If you had a furnace that produces power, does that mean burning humans counts as a renewable energy option? Technically, yes. I mean, isn't that basically the premise behind the Matrix? I mean, except instead of a furnace, you basically have some sort of, like, cognitive agitator that somehow produces enough energy to sustain robotic life. The problem with humans as a renewable resource is that they're not a very good one. They are a very poor renewable resource. Mostly because of how much energy has to go into them for them to grow up enough in order to be a proper, or to have enough biomass in order to consider even using them as a renewable resource. Also, while we're on the subject of renewable resources, solar power and wind power are, and anything else of its ilk, like tidal power, I think all of them are misattributed as renewable resources. If anything, they are low environmental impact resources. Because really, there's nothing terribly renewable about wind. We don't produce the wind, we do not produce the sun, and we do not produce the waves on the ocean. We harness them, but in order to make something a renewable resource, it has to fall under some sort of system of production, where there is agential involvement in the production of said resource. So really, renewable power is sort of a buzzword. Because the things that we consider to be renewable, we don't actually renew in any specific way. We merely harness them on a recurring but low environmental impact sort of basis. Okay, is that everything for enemies? Yes, it is. That was a bit terrifying, to be quite honest. Well, until China mines the moon hollow, tidal power is a potential source of power. It's not a good one. Basically, every government that has taken it up as a potential option has given up on it already. It requires a high degree of maintenance, and it becomes more difficult to maintain than it actually is producing. So, even when it is producing at maximum efficiency, under our current technology, it is not nearly close enough to justify its cost. And basically, the major problem is that our understanding of power, basically how to turn kinetic energy into power, requires some sort of, requires basically a screw-type system, where you need to have something that powers an electromagnet that rotates. That's why nuclear power still relies on water, because you are basically just making a coal-fired power plant, except you generate heat by nuclear means. Anyone seen Fallout the Frontier? I hated it, says Lolbit. I mean, yeah, I've seen that video that that Australian guy did, basically ripping into the game. The dialogue is cringy as heck. And I'm not sure I'm actually going to cover it. I installed the mod. I'm not sure I'm ever going to play it at this rate. I just don't think it's a good enough experience to put myself through. So it's just gonna sort of sit idly. I'm not really gonna do anything with it. Never forget, grass is worth 100 space bucks. We gotta tear it down. Our landscaping business makes money by the square foot. I got pissed at the hypocrisy in it. Well, even ignoring the hypocrisy, it's just bad writing. Like, the moment I saw the whole slave collar thing about America, I'm like, you know, this is where I sign out. This is not so much on-the-nose criticism as it is just really, really cringy criticism. Nuclear fission is the best way to make energy nowadays. Change my mind. Semi-convincing argument for the opposition to nuclear power is coal-fired power is still better because it doesn't require you to have as much reliance on, well, insane foreign powers suddenly having access to nuclear technology and using it responsibly. That and also building the power plants in responsible locations. Which they tend not to do. Case in point, Fukushima. Or even being responsible enough to fund it sufficiently so that it doesn't become a liability. The Frontier, nice map, the modding of viable vehicles was impressive, interesting weapons, but the story and factions made no sense. It's basically an action movie. And that's what The Frontier is. It is an action movie that is basically a copy-paste of other action movies. If we solve power storage, green energy would be much more useful. Yes, absolutely. If we can make batteries, solar power is suddenly way more viable. Same thing with wind power, but even wind power, it's eh. You need to... Solar power is oddly enough, I think, more reliable than wind power as a general thing across the planet. Problems with solar power as well is that birds mistake solar panels for lakes because of the heat shimmer. And since most solar panel arrays are built in the desert presently, that is a problem because birds smack into them and die a bunch. It really screws with their navigation. Another thing is... I think the best thing for green energy, space elevator and orbital solar arrays that are somehow connected to the space elevator system. It's a weird mega project. It requires a lot of materials that have more tensile strength than we know how to produce reliably and on such a massive scale. But I think that is the ultimate goal for green energy. Orbital solar arrays. And eventually Dyson spheres, of course. One of the things that got me was when they said no enclave as they are mean and evil, but then you can side with a guy and murder people with the justification being they think different. Yep. Yeah, you play Legion, who are almost more despicable, yet not enclave. Yep. Or how they made the Brotherhood faction too goody-goody to really hit in it. It's like they wanted you to play them. Then there's also how the Legion isn't at all Legion. Well, that's sort of because the Brotherhood in the later Bethesda games became the more or less goody-goody faction. Mostly because whoever was doing the writing for Fallout 3 completely missed the boat when it came to the... Why are we still facing this nonsense? Why is this still a thing I have to deal with? Not sure if that was a worthwhile engagement, but, it's sort of what we have to deal with right now. We still have our health, we still have a reasonable amount of shields. So I think, really what we need to be doing is just engaging the enemy. Okay, high tempo, high octane action, let's go. Okay. Submarine noises intensify. Right. Oh yes, it's my favorite map for enforcing OSHA compliance. I almost forgot. This one is great. I love it. Oh, he found me. Well, okay. Oh. My hands weren't even on WASD. I feel embarrassed. Now, where the heck are the rest of the enemies? Oh no, I killed everything. Very good. Now we can set about enforcing OSHA compliance on this neighborhood, and reading messages in chat. Okay. That'd require a global effort, sadly, Smastian. Yes and no. I mean, it basically requires one faction currently existing in the global economy to really just take everything over, so... It basically means somebody eventually has to win this whole global struggle. What's a strugger? Me neither, dude. I'd love to know. Also, my hand is off the mouse so I can hold my phone and read it better. How about orbital nuclear reactors? Cheap and wouldn't cause too much damage. Yes, they sort of would, because the problem with nukes in orbit is that when something goes off, the radiation begins to affect every electronic on the planet. I mean, that would require a nuclear explosion. I don't know how critical meltdowns would work in space, but still. I imagine it would basically scatter radiation planet-wide, potentially. So, could be more damaging. If we were to isolate the nuclear reactor somehow on the moon or something, and have the ability to transport our energy back down to the planet somehow, maybe. That might be a more workable option. But for the time being, we don't really have a good workable option for space. Oh, those things don't give me... Huh. Unfortunate. I thought those light posts gave me money. Anyway. No anon potential for Fallout. Yeah, so Carol Wolfpup basically said it. Potential for fallout with direct access to the upper atmosphere. No bueno, me gusta. No bueno, non me gusta. In Fallout, I like it when no one is truly good, as it makes a harder choice. Well, yeah, because very few people in existence are actually truly good. But if you make the choice shoot dictator or dog, well, that is a 2-second thought. If there are problems with the reactor, they can always be shot into outer space. I mean, I don't think you understand what the energy requirements are to basically put a satellite into orbit and then shoot it up into an even higher orbit. Positioning a satellite in geosynchronous orbit, for example, actually takes a fair chunk of energy. Like, a lot. A lot. Anon, where's the fun in that? Says Lolbit. Yeah, who said, you couldn't have fun making nuclear reactors? Said the government when they found out some guy was taking, whatchamacallem, smoke detectors and using the small amount of radium inside them to generate his own homebrew nuclear reactors. The man was developing cancer at a tremendous rate. Point being, don't even make a homebrew nuclear reactor. It's sort of not worth it. Just for the health issues alone. I mean, technically, there is no law against doing it, but at the same time, there are sort of people who, you know, it's better that you don't do it. If only because someone will eventually get around to sabotaging it and make a really big mess for someone else. You call it radiation poisoning? I call it spicy blood, says Lolbit. And I mean, fair. But also no. I would like not to have spicy blood, thank you. Well, ESA and NASA are planning permanent bases on the moon in the next 10 to 20 years. That's not good enough. They should be planning it for the next 5 years. Carsey Warsi, I have made a different account, no more Wheatmaster. But I liked Wheatmaster. No. We use the nuclear reactor to jettison the nuclear reactor. Homebrew nuclear warheads sound fun. Yeah, that is a level of Second Amendment rights I don't think even I can get behind. Like, that is a bit much. So anyway, Carsey, how's life been treating you? Been watching any good things lately? TV shows, films, anything? I don't think I have ever fully OSHA complianced this entire map, even down to the grass. I don't think I've done that. No, it's all about the Nova Furan. The idea of turning the sun into one power source. Well, yeah, basically. Isn't that just like the ultimate in nuclear reactor technology? Just harness the entire sun? Right up until we have to be uber reliant on black hole technology in order to provide us with power. Yes, we shall now make habitats around the black holes, because that is the last place of energy and warmth in the universe. Oh no. Never forget, chat, grass is probably the most valuable commodity on this planet. This grass is invincible. I hate it. All right. But we have to make sure the power is equal. The government can't control us. Guys, seriously, just use Argent energy. What could go wrong? Don't worry, we've got the Doomslayer, guys. Actually, here's a weird Helltaker tie-in. What if Argent energy just basically unlocks the Helltaker universe for us? Isn't that just the ultimate goal? A demon waifu harem. Because if so, we should be investing in Argent energy right now. Do it, chat. Get a grant fund going in order to make sure that scientists discover Argent energy, so we can start investing in demon girl waifus. This is the future. It'll be like that scene from The Aviator. The way of the future. 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 Oh my god, there's high explosives over here that I almost forgot about. How irresponsible of me. Like, really. Speaking of being irresponsible, those guys were out past curfew. You cannot have OSHA compliance without curfew. Yeah, we just gotta ask Helltaker if he can lend us some. Yep, basically. I'm so behind on chat that I'm making jokes that chat has already made. I feel embarrassed with myself, to be quite honest. This is a sort of life you have to live if you do not have a second monitor. And I'm living that life. It's not even the best life. Mine nor anybody else's. Really, I thought I destroyed all the high explosives at least on that side. I hate autocorrect, says Lolbit. Smash, there's no need to go full Dark Eldar, just turn on a light bulb. Heh. Yeah, grass is quite valuable where I live too, says Anon38. I take it you live in Canada. Certainly worth more than human life. Oof. Smast goes full no Russian. Look, it's not full no Russian. This is OSHA compliance we're talking about. It's important. These people are not inside their homes, and it is past curfew. Man, there are petunias here that need landscaping. I am a very irresponsible Killdozer. This is unacceptable. We have to be better than this if we are to set a good example for the planet. A good OSHA compliance example. Very valuable grass, right here and right here. Technically, what I'm doing is I'm busting many grow-ops. Cops in the early 2000s would be proud of me. Ooh. There's just so much debris that flies. It is lovely. Truly it is. Okay, we are basically halfway towards our goal. We are halfway towards the goal of $10 million worth of property damage. It's an auspicious goal. Heck, maybe even an audacious goal. But we still aim to complete it. Ah, yes, the invincible grass. Yep, there it is. Okay, so how much of this map have I cleared? Okay, so this bottom portion is gone. Except for... Okay, this center section, it is a good thing I decided to scout around here. Because I did miss some things. Namely that. The funnest thing I see is when someone from Canada tries outfoods the US, and I'm like, no, go back to Burr Place. What? To outfoods the US? I'm not sure what you tried to write there. I'm really not. That one requires explanation for me. GameStop is hilarious. Well, what Robin Hood did is hilarious, and how they're basically getting purposefully scapegoated so that Wall Street can avoid losing more money. It's like, oh, it's not all of Wall Street that is, being evil and preventing you from trading, it's just these Robin Hood guys over here. There's a reason why the goal is to crash the market with no survivors. The market doesn't deserve to exist in its present iteration. After all, one of the unspoken rules of the free market that it is within our rights to completely destroy the free market, should we so choose. And rebuild it from the ground up, should we need to. That is a logical position that is consistent with free market capitalism. Those poor hedgies are finally taking a broken glass enema. Yeah, right up until they start shifting the goalposts for themselves. Which they've already started doing. By the way, there has been a hostile takeover of WSB. Yeah, no shit. This is sort of what you get for dealing in currency that doesn't exist. It is your just desserts. You have made your bed, now lie in it and stop crying. This is a problem entirely of your own making. Own up to your mistake. But they'll do their best not to. Some of the old mods who weren't online in a while decided to take over. Pfft, yeah. Ooh. I keep forgetting I have wine on the table that I've been meaning to drink. Also, give me a second. I'm going to go to the washroom, briefly. Okay, and I am back. The old new mods are just out for money and they want to make a GameStonk movie or something. Don't quite catch the whole picture. Quick, buy all of Smastion's stock. I don't have stock. Like, what would there even be to invest in? It's like, here guys, please give to Patreon or PayPal accounts so that I can maybe do ASMR for you guys on Tuesdays or some stupid shit like that. Also, finally we're dealing with something that isn't Corvids. Although I'm not too hot on the whole idea of dealing with spacers either. That did not attract as much attention as I was hoping it would. Oh. Very good. I just ran out of ammunition. Honestly, with the way in which spacers engage, how they all just do it in these, like, weird battle balls, this is the engagement I'm most worried about. We also have to find a more sustainable form of ammunition. Because we are running pretty dangerously low. Okay, at least health is back up to an appreciable level. Alright. Okay, I did get a reload off of that, which is good. Okay, excellent. There is some hope yet. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're done. Fucking A. Basically the problem with spacers. WNH would love that smash stock. Yeah, well, Winnie's hasn't been around for a while here. We want to invest in your OnlyFans. Well, there's no OnlyFans to invest in. Nor will there ever be. Okay. I need to figure out a way to do this more consistently. Much as I would like to do it in the Killdozer, I do think I need a better vehicle for it. Like the dragon, perhaps? Maybe the dragon's good? It has poor chassis rotation speed, but it still does good melee damage. There's also the Tinker as a potential option, and the Canmore, but eh. All of the super heavies are slow. At least this thing has forward speed, so let's give it a shot. Main weapon, I think, should be a Banshee. Secondary weapon... the Belter, maybe? Yeah, I think, Belter and Banshee are a pretty good way to go, together with Kinetic Pulse. Let's try this again. Yeah, see, it doesn't do quite as much damage as the Killdozer does. Like, the Killdozer's ability to do damage to buildings was insane. But what I am going to try doing is changing up the operation. It is 10 p.m. I'm not going to be able to do full linear solo Nobre. That is not in the cards. At all. It's going to take way too long. But maybe a proper solo Nobre run. Le pain train est arrivés. Or so they says. There we go. So the one good thing about the dragon is it's stupidly fast. Well, so long as we do things quick, it ought to be pretty good for us. Speed, slight lack of maneuverability, but most definitely lots of speed. Holy hell, this thing zips. Its ability to destroy buildings is very lackluster. So yeah, let's try to basically speed run this as best as possible while also doing all of the objectives. I think a laser-armed space A-grav would also work, or spacer grav would also work well for you, if memory serves. I mean, it depends. Because the Killdozer has that lovely, lovely ability to just destroy things. It really can. Okay. Okay, so the only thing I'm missing is substations and 3 more dudes that are somehow still alive on this map. Well, there's one of them. There's another. Just one more dude somewhere left on the map, but I mean, it's green, it's complete as an objective. Never mind, we found him. And now we exit. That was a really weird long bomb shot by all of those artillery. Uh-oh. Also, holy hell, the dragon can motor. I think this is what we need for the full linear solo Nobre run. Holy hell. This thing works gangbusters. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right. Oh, we have unfortunately run out of ammunition in one of our weapons. How unfortunate for us. Right, we should stop wasting ammo on the little boys. You know? Maybe conserve our ammunition a little. And there is one more depot over in that direction. Phenomenal. Ooh, we have taken health damage, though. Interesting. Woohoo! Woohoo! Well, that was a very interesting engagement, mostly because I just decided to charge headlong into everything and nearly died, but it was cool. Hi, and welcome to Smastian's guide on how to get cocky in a pretty overpowered vehicle. Well, that was magically delicious. Okay. Anything else? And structure. Cool. That was quick. This thing really does not like interacting with structures. I am speed. 'Tis a fast vehicle. Always feel like it should tip over, though. I mean, you'd imagine. Futurist anti-grav devices. Blame it on that. Yes! Carnage! Ooh. That was good. Very, very high octane. I enjoyed that a lot. What, you think I'm afraid of my enemies? Let them come. Let them come, for I shall mow them down as they deserve to be. After all, we are the OSHA-approved landscaping service for this quadrant. And we know our duty, and we must do it. Alright, what's next? I do believe that is the majority of the enemies in the region. And we are out. Now, I believe this is where we died the last time round. Hello. Now, where are we off to next? Okay. Imagine being that tiny bicycle and some guy in, like, a treehouse vehicle rolls up to you and just murks you. Oh, hello. Okay. Alright. Now then. Uh-oh. Well, that could have ended disastrously, but it did not, so, we'll take it. There we are. Delicious. How many more captains? A few more over in this direction. Alright, and here's the door somewhere in this direction. Let us head for it. Like that dude in Hot Shots Part 2. I'm done. That's it. Good night. You're leaving us, Carol? Are you leaving? Don't leave. We need you. Ooh, I did set off an alarm. Most unfortunate. Okay. We're actually in a pretty good position, all things considered. Because we are still alive and still on relatively good shields. This vehicle is incredibly adept at getting itself into and out of trouble. Adequate. Okay, anything I missed in here? Yes, down this way, there's things I missed. All right. Nah, as a reference to when you said that dude on a bike who gets murked by Treehouse Cat. Or Treehouse Car. You can't get rid of me that easy, Smastian. Cue ominous evil laughter, slow close-up, and evil plotting music. Okay, last building I need to destroy is right here. And we can GTFO successfully. Evil plotting music number 5. Ah, that's what he said. Wine is good. I like 0 of this. That engagement was riotous hell, and I do not like it. Less of that, please. I thought you died. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, now they're definitely dead, so there is that plus side. Well, I mean, the garrison is done for, basically. Okay. That was a bit frightening. Right, down this way. Aha. It thought it could escape. It was wrong. It is truly impressive how quick you can just clear things in this vehicle. Very rapido. Alright. Cool. Okay. Hello, Torpedo. Goodbye, Torpedo. You think you're allowed to just do damage to me from range? Think again. Thank you for the free health. Okay. Anything I'm missing? Substation. Where the heck's the substation? Ah, this way. I know where it is. It's the building I keep forgetting about. Or the corner of the map I keep forgetting about. There it is. It's dragon time and the living's easy. I drank all my wine and now the cup is empty. Okay, right. Which map am I on and how do I solve the problem that is the map? Okay. Let's head to the rightmost corner. Because that is apparently where we have another thing to deal with. Very good. Well, you've got to appreciate the Corvid AI for one thing, and that is its ability to do a really exceedingly annoying hit and run. Like I said, exceedingly annoying hit and run. Excellent. Okay, problem's getting solved. Now, where else do I have objectives? Oh, over in this direction. Well, then we must head there with best speed. Best speed indeed. Okay, I lost a lot of shields in that engagement. Okay. Where's the final captain at? Over this way. Well, that's all missions accomplished. I think closest exit point is going to be down this way. And indeed it is. Okay. Phenomenal. Well, we're dealing with spacers again, which means there's going to be a battle cluster somewhere on the map. Okay. Spacer, Battle Ball 1, dealt with. More or less. Okay. Anybody else? I sure hope not. Okay. Well, so far so good. Alright. We missed an item all the way over here. And the final depot. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Now that that's dealt with, I think we can exit. And let us make hasty exit as well. We're almost done. We are almost done with this mad scramble. Ah yes, more spacers. Just what we needed. You can tell because all of the captains are in the top right corner of the map. Okay. A bit intense. Near-death experience. We'll take it. Could have been worse. Could have been much worse. Oh boy, the train station. And we are once again dealing with spacers. Phenomenal. Yep, this is going to be another one of those semi-tough ones to deal with. Okay. That was sort of a close call, not gonna lie. Had one of those landed any closer, we would have been in trouble. That was really close. Okay. Again, a really distressing close call. Yay, space degens. No. Space degens bad. We don't like the space degens. The space degens like to battle ball too much, and I don't like it when they battle ball. Because space degens means we have to be tryhards. I don't like being a tryhard in this game. Alright. It is time to leave. We are finally allowed to leave. Yeah, talk about skin of my teeth. Tell me about it. I was twice in the same mission, then I nearly borked things. We're dealing with space degens again. Someone tell me this isn't happening. Well, we're back at it again, folks. Just die, though? Okay. You are a very important unit to have run into right now. Crap, crap. Okay. Right. Oh shit! Oh my god, I got caught on terrain. Ugh. I hate space degens. Space degens are my least favorite. It's not fun. It's not fun dealing with space degens. Well, I think that's it for this game for tonight. If anything, I'll spend maybe another half hour doing something else. I'm not entirely sure what I want that to be. Rest in pepperoni. Yeah, indeed. It's just not a terribly great weapon setup to have to deal with, massive battle balls of spacers. It's not the worst setup. But it's tough. So, what am I going to do with the remainder of the night? Don't let spec degens get you down. Well, spec degens are a problem. Much like in the 40k universe, space degens do not belong. I don't know, do I want to play something for the remaining hour of the night, or do I just want to wind down? I'm not entirely certain. What games do I have on my roster, even? Oh, I know what I can do. I'll do Minecraft. So I'll just launch that in the background. And just chill out with a bit of Minecraft. That's the way to go. Why is it not letting me go to desktop? Okay, you know, better idea then. We shall manually go minimize that, launch Minecraft. ASMR. Okay. Now there's an interesting one. You know, I could do that. Heck. In fact, there's a book of that I need to read. And I think maybe now's the time to read it. Maybe now. So I'm going to go into a realm in Minecraft. Which, it should start capturing Minecraft. There we go. It's finally doing its thing. Oh, hello. And I suppose I can show things off a little in here. Show things off a little. Before we move on to ASMR. Because what I intend to do is I intend to turn on some Minecraft music in the background while I do the reading. Oh no, Jeeves. Jeeves. Oh, they're all named Jeeves. I hate it. God damn it, Blorks, why did you name every single basement dweller here Jeeves? It's detestable, really. Anyway, welcome to our humble and very fuchsia quarters. This is basically the first home we built on this server. And it's pretty nice. We call it the Glory Hole, apparently. The name changes frequently. We have a rather important structure at the very top of things here, which we do not have proper stair access to, but, this is the concentration this is the place where people go to, do merchant things, yes. Anyway. A little bit of an open-air storehouse. A map room, because everybody, of course, needs a map room. We have a zombie in the floor here. Then we have the problem that is a sleep demon, which is basically like a moth trying to get at a lantern this entire time. We've trapped this poor man up here. And then we have this poor man down there, a drowny boy, I forget what his name is. Oh yeah, Scuds McAllister. This poor, poor fellow. Anyway, our wheat field. The lower district, with a rose garden. A portal to the nether, which is in our grain storage, of all things. The Tribunal of Cats. This is Mr. Whisker. The third cat. Angstrom. Snugglepuss. And Maurice. Now, don't tell my friends about this one, but, the place where all the space degens go. Yeah, so there's a secret cat up here. Do not tell my friends about it. Oh, we still need to go further down. A little bit of an art gallery. Then we have a lava pool. Because of course we have a lava pool, adorned with paintings, no less. Fang's Crimson Hall, which is, you know, this is a pretty swanky house, gotta say. As well as his animals. Together with sleeping quarters. And a very auspicious floor. The Temple of Victoria, which is basically an open-air pagoda. And perhaps the most expensive building on the server. Commemorating the Battle of Rose Garden, a bitter struggle against able foes, which is to say, the Raider invasion. We don't talk about that house. And, of course, the Beer Hall. The Beer Hall, where I keep my dog, where I keep the pigs, where we keep altogether too many things. We're gonna shut up all the creatures. But we're gonna keep the ambient noises on. And we are going to move up into... Oh, where should we do our reading? That is a good question. I need to do it somewhere indoors, of course. But somewhere indoors that has a good view. I think we can find a better view. There has to be a better view than this out on the server. Very puzzling question indeed. Where on this server is the place with the best view? That is also safe from monsters, because there's a lot of open-air stuff, and I'm worried about sleep demons. That is perhaps the most, worrying thing. Yeah, like, see, there's a monster down there, as I live and breathe. By the 9 Divines. Ah, and yes, there's also the church, which has an iron golem as its, steward of the belfry. Yes, there are chimes up in this tower. See, look at all the lovely chimes up here. The note blocks and such. Either way, we still have yet to find a good place to settle ourselves into reading. I know. We shall read to the congregation. This is perhaps the best place. Nah, I don't feel it. I ain't feeling it. There's better. There has to be. I know. From the grain silo, overlooking the temple, I think is a good... What the Hello. How the hell did you show up there? Oh well, whatever. There we go. I don't like this ambient noise. We will keep the weather sounds on, however. There we go. And now, in a separate tab, we will open up Minecraft music. I hope that this is loud enough. Okay. And so the poetry book that I'm going to begin reading is called Coffee Days and Whiskey Nights. Also, do tell me if I'm too loud for more gentle reading. Also, let's get this menu out of the way.